For 25 years, Kelly Ripa followed the same weekday morning ritual, settling into an identical chair day after day. That routine broke in February 2026 when she spoke 5 unexpected words. It's time to move on. Leading up to that moment, clues have been piling up. A private conversation with Oprah that she now calls the most significant of her career. A memoir chapter modestly named The End. Remarks from her own podcast that certain ABC executives wish to cut. And the admission that with her youngest child leaving for college, a separation from her long-held career felt necessary because, in her words, this is it. We have nothing. Everyone began asking, why would a woman making $20 million each year suddenly want to quit? What warning did Oprah actually give her? The true motive behind her choice is not what the media has been reporting. Born on October 23, 1970, in Stratford, New Jersey, a tiny Camden County borough of about 7,300 people, Kelly Maria Ripa grew up in a strict, Catholic household rooted deeply in a Polish-Italian working-class lifestyle. That upbringing shaped her permanently. During later interviews, and in her 2022 memoir Live Wire, Long-Wed Short Stories, she frequently said that her childhood culture became the bedrock of her professional persona. Her father, Joseph Ripa, was building his own path when she arrived. He studied at Rutgers, drove buses for New Jersey Transit, and served as a regional labor union president. He later became president of the Camden County Board of Freeholders and the elected county clerk. Her mother, Esther, managed the home with firm discipline and clear rules. Kelly and her older sister Linda were raised in that environment, which gave Kelly both order and attitude. At Camden Catholic High School, she graduated in 1988 and later described herself as intelligent, opinionated, and energetic, but not always steady academically. She started at Camden County College, then moved to Rutgers in Camden to study psychology and theater. But before finishing, life redirected her. In early 1990, at just 19, she quit college after landing the role of Haley Vaughn on ABC's daytime soap All My Children. Her parents were not instantly reassured. Her father doubted soap operas would last, and her mother worried about her surviving alone in New York City. Eventually, both came around, and that gamble transformed everything. The casting was nearly accidental. The show's producers wanted a fresh young actress to liven up the teenage storylines. Kelly tried out for Haley, the recovering alcoholic daughter of the villainous Adam Chandler, and won the part. Her first episode aired on April 23, 1990. Still only 19, she had unknowingly entered a role that would define her next decade. She stayed with the show for 12 years, aside from one break and one return. 5 years later, the All My Children set gave her something beyond a career. In February 1995, the show sought an actor to play Mateo Santos, a young Latino love interest for Haley. Casting director Judy Wilson later said finding the right person took time. Then she spotted an 8x10 headshot of a Florida actor named Mark Consuelos. Mark had earned a marketing degree from a University of South Florida in 1994 after transferring from Notre Dame. Born in Zaragoza, Spain on March 30, 1971, he grew up in Lebanon, Illinois, and Brandon, Florida. On paper, he was just another candidate. But when Kelly saw his photo, something clicked. Wilson recalled in a 2025 conversation that Kelly walked into her office, picked up Mark's headshot, and fell for him instantly. Wilson described it almost mystically, saying Kelly was drawn to his image and that they were pulled toward each other in every way. Still, the road was rough. The network had doubts about Mark, and his casting became unusually difficult. He had to screen test against others even while already filming, which Wilson called unprecedented in soap opera circles. Nevertheless, he got the job. Kelly and Mark shot their first scenes together in February 1995, and soon their on-screen spark became real off-screen. Within weeks, they were quietly dating. By late spring 1995, the relationship had grown so serious that Mark later admitted in interviews to sometimes crashing on castmate Windsor Harmon's sofa, because everything was moving quicker than expected. On May 1, 1996, after a date night that Kelly recalled as pizza and wine, Mark proposed. That same night, they flew to Las Vegas and married. For several weeks, almost no one knew. They hid the marriage from most friends, and even much of the All My Children team. When the news finally surfaced, Kelly said the writers reacted with shock and amusement. For years, they had been crafting Haley and Mateo's on-screen romance, unaware that the actors had secretly become real-life spouses. That marriage became a central pillar of Kelly's life, enduring through her television rise, public changes, and family growth. They had 3 children: Michael Joseph Consuelos on June 2, 1997, Lola Grace Consuelos on June 16, 2001, and Joaquin Antonio Consuelos on February 24, 2003. By 2026, Michael was 28, Lola 24, and Joaquin 22. Each had begun forging their own path. Joaquin prepared for a regional theater production of Death of a Salesman. Lola became a singer-songwriter, releasing her first EP in 2024. Michael worked as an assistant in film and television production. By 2000, Kelly had spent a full decade on All My Children, appearing in roughly 1,800 episodes. At 30, she was familiar to soap fans, but had not yet achieved broader fame. Then came an unforeseen opportunity. Earlier that year, Kathy Lee Gifford announced her departure from Live with Regis and Kathy Lee after 15 years to focus on writing and family. The show was among America's biggest syndicated daytime programs, reaching about 5 million viewers per episode. Regis Philbin had been there since 1985, and now ABC and Buena Vista Television needed a new co-host. A lengthy search began. Around 75 women rotated through the seat, including Lara Spencer, Cynthia Garrett, Cheryl Hines, Kim Alexis, and Patty Leo. On November 9, 2000, Kelly Ripa got her turn, suggested by the All My Children producers. She appeared for one show with Regis. From that moment, everything shifted. She clicked immediately. The chemistry between 69-year-old Regis, a decades-long television veteran, and 30-year-old Kelly, known mostly to daytime soap audiences, was sharp, funny, and effortless. It was exactly what producers had sought for 9 months. She was quick, fearless, able to match him, and pushed back in ways that made the show feel vibrant. The official announcement came on February 5, 2001. The show was renamed Live with Regis and Kelly, and her first episode as permanent co-host aired that day. What audiences saw in that audition became the show's engine. Regis played the loud, seasoned, dramatic legend. Kelly was the fast, sharp, younger counterpart. Together, they built a beloved rhythm. Their years on Live became the program's most commercially successful period. From February 2001 through November 2011, the show expanded into over 200 U.S. markets and reached international territories. Both received multiple individual Daytime Emmy nominations, and the program won its first Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Talk Show on June 23, 2012. The hardest moment of this chapter came off-camera. In April 2016, ABC executives told Kelly that Michael Strahan would leave Live to co-anchor Good Morning America. According to later accounts, Kelly learned of the decision only about 20 minutes before the news went public. For her, this felt deeply personal, not just professional. In her 2022 book and subsequent interviews, including a Variety cover story, she called it the most painful moment of her working life. She reacted immediately, walking off the show and missing the next 4 episodes, the first scheduled shows she had missed in 15 years of hosting. The story became major news in both American and British press. Strahan and the producers faced difficult public questions. On April 26, 2016, Kelly returned and addressed the audience directly. Her on-air statement was calm, clear, and controlled. Over time, it became a striking example of a daytime host speaking openly about corporate conflict without violating her contract. Strahan's final episode aired on May 13, 2016. He moved to Good Morning America the following Monday. For the first time since joining the program, Kelly stood as the sole permanent host. Another search began once more. This one ended differently. In May 2017, after a year of guest co-hosts including Anderson Cooper, Andy Cohen, Jerry O'Connell, Maria Menounos, and Fred Savage, the show announced that Ryan Seacrest would join Kelly permanently. He was 42, already one of American entertainment's most recognizable hosts, and also one of Kelly's close friends. Live with Kelly and Ryan premiered on May 1st, 2017. Their partnership lasted 6 years and succeeded by every commercial measure. Ratings remained strong. Their genuine, visible friendship made the show feel easy in a way audiences loved. But eventually, life intervened. On February 16, 2023, Ryan announced he would leave the show in April after 6 years, explaining that constant travel between his Los Angeles life and New York taping schedule had become overwhelming. Around the same time, he had been chosen to replace Pat Sajak as host of Wheel of Fortune, requiring more time in L.A. That exit created another opening, but this time the answer was obvious. Kelly later said on her podcast that the decision was almost embarrassingly simple. Her husband, Mark Consuelos, had been guest co-hosting on Live for over 20 years. The audience already knew him. He already lived much of his life in Manhattan. After his 9-year Riverdale run ended in March 2023, he was finally available. Talks moved quickly. By all accounts, the agreement took less than a week. On April 17, 2023, Mark replaced Ryan, and the show became Live with Kelly and Mark. For the past 3 years, Kelly and Mark have settled into something both fresh and deeply familiar. By 2026, their run together has become the longest co-host stretch of Kelly's career outside the Regis years, and their chemistry has been easy to understand from the start. They are not performing a television dynamic. They are living one that matters. It gives the show an immediate warmth, and it has helped turn Live with Kelly and Mark into both a rating success and a steady source of viral online moments. That success has mattered for another reason. It began a new phase in how Kelly discusses her future. Since 2023, she has spoken more openly about eventually leaving the show, not from unhappiness or failure. In fact, almost the opposite. She has made clear that she wants the program to outlast her. She no longer describes it as built solely around her presence. She calls it a franchise, an institution, something larger than one person. Once she started saying that aloud, it changed how people heard every subsequent interview. Looking at what has actually happened in 2025 and 2026, the picture becomes clearer. The public record does not show someone slowly walking out the door. It shows someone still fully engaged in the work. Kelly and Mark won their first joint daytime Emmy in 2024. She has kept hosting Live for roughly 230 days a year. She has continued recording her podcast, which by 2026 has passed 30 million total downloads. She has also begun work on a second book, though the title and release date remain unannounced. Her life stays full, busy, and active. Mark's own career has been expanding too, adding another layer to this moment. In 2025 and 2026, he has been preparing for a Broadway run in a revival of Noel Coward's Fallen Angels, a casting choice drawing much attention in the New York theater world. It is his first major Broadway turn, and Kelly has framed that kind of growth as one reason the husband and wife version of Live always made sense. The show was never just about keeping things the same. It was also about creating a setup flexible enough for both to keep evolving. At home, things have changed most naturally. Their children are grown. Michael, now 28, has worked behind the camera in television production. Lola, 24, has continued building her own path through independent music. Joaquin, 22, competed as a wrestler for the University of Michigan and is now preparing for a regional theater debut in Death of a Salesman. That means Kelly and Mark are no longer in the life phase where every decision is shaped by young children's daily needs. Their family has moved into a different chapter, giving them a different kind of freedom. Putting it all together, the picture becomes simple. In 2026, this is the household of two successful parents in their mid-50s whose children are launched, whose careers are thriving, whose marriage is nearing its 30th anniversary on May 1st, 2026, and who are under no pressure to make any sudden decision. That is why Kelly's February 2026 comments landed as they did. They were reflective, not urgent, thoughtful, not final. She sounded like someone considering how to end a long chapter one day, not someone preparing to close the book tomorrow. The financial side also matters because it removes the usual reason people keep working. Kelly has become one of the wealthiest women in American daytime television. Her live salary has been widely reported at around $20 million annually over the past several years. Adding Mark's salary, his acting work, Broadway income, the couple's Mojo production earnings, Kelly's book income, and the podcast, the household has been estimated at roughly $30 million to $35 million per year in total earnings. Their combined net worth, including the East 76th Street townhouse, the East Hampton home, the Caribbean property, and invested assets, was estimated around $200 million by late 2025. That changes the entire conversation. Kelly is not hosting because she has to. She could stop whenever she wants. The foundation is already there. The career has already been built. The money has already been made. So when she stays, it means something. It means the decision is emotional and personal, not financial. She has not continued because she is trapped. She has continued because, at least for now, she still believes there is a reason to be there.